Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the Unit 1, the conversation. So we'll be listening today to some conversation. But before we do that, let's revise what we previously took. The subjunctive in the grammar. Of course, you remember the subjunctive. It means to stress the importance or an urgency of an action. And the subjunctive here, for example, when you say the manager insisted that he work late, or it is important, it is imperative, it is essential to do something, to be early. And the subjunctive form, don't forget the verb here or the expression, then the word that, then the subject, then the base form plus the not if it is negative verb or expression. For example, it is essential that the subject is you dress appropriately, or you can say the verb here, she asked that, and the subject we not be late. And remember to say not, don't say don't be late. The subjunctive uses the base form of the verb when you expect another form, like the example, he usually finishes, present simple here, his work on time. So you expect the present simple, but in the subjunctive, always put the base form. It is imperative that he finish. We don't say he finishes. He finish the job, this job on time. And also the subjunctive form negative by putting not. Don't say don't. Ahmed isn't usually late for work, so we say it is important that Ahmed not be late. We don't say don't be late. Another example, you don't drive your father's car. It is imperative that you not drive his car. Don't say don't. Also, we took the I'd like you plus the infinitive, or I want you plus the infinitive when you desire or you want someone else to do something. And the infinitive is to plus the base form. When you say I'd like you to help me, for example, I'd like you, asking someone else to do something, or I want you to finish the report this afternoon. So today's objectives to illustrate a picture using the real talk phrases. So we'll be, of course, studying some real talk, some new words. Survey at a satisfying job. Use the real talk phrases in new sentences. Practice asking for a favor. So do you know the expression cover for someone? When we say cover for someone, when someone asks you, can you cover for me? Or can you cover for Ahmed? Can you cover for Abdullah? What does it mean to cover for someone? Okay, let's look at it together here. If a teacher has to leave the classroom, they may ask another teacher to cover for them until they get back. So covering for someone, it means to take his place until he comes back. When you ask a colleague or a friend to cover for you, it means that you want him to take your place until you come back. Someone who works as a receptionist and shouldn't leave their desk may ask another person to cover for them if they have to go out for a few minutes. Ask students if they ever are in a situation in which they. So have you ever been in a situation when you want someone to cover for you? You're working someone at some place, or you're doing something and you want someone to cover for you. If you have been to this situation, try to tell it to your friends. So this is the conversation here between Adnan and Rob. So the first lesson, we'll listen with your book closed. Of course, you can tell from the picture that we are talking about the VR, or the virtual reality. So let's listen to the conversation together.
Adnan, hey Rob, I'm in a bind. Can you help me out? Rob, what's the problem? Adnan, I'm supposed to work tomorrow, but there's something I've got to do. Could you cover for me? Rob, you just asked me to cover for you on Monday. What's so important that I have to keep doing your job? Adnan, okay, I'll tell you, but I'd appreciate it if you would keep it to yourself. I'm interviewing for another job, and I'm really close to getting it. Rob, you were just hired here a few weeks ago. I can't believe you're thinking about leaving already.
So Adnan here asks Rob to cover for him. He says here, I'm supposed to work tomorrow, but there's something I've got to do. Could you cover for me? When you want to ask someone, you say, of course, could you cover for me? Then Rob said, you just asked me to cover for you on Monday. So he feels that he is lazy, maybe. What's so important that you have, that I have to keep doing your job? So maybe this is not the first or maybe not the second time, because he said to keep doing your job. He said, I'll tell you, but I appreciate it if you would keep it to yourself. I'm interviewing for another job. So let's continue the conversation here.
Adnan, yeah, I know, but the job I'm interviewing for is a dream job. I'd be a tester at a video game development company. Rob, no kidding. Wow. Well, I still don't think it's right for you to jump ship like that. But alright, I'll cover for you. Adnan, thanks a lot. I'm going to take off now. Rob, hey Adnan? Adnan, yeah? Rob, if you get the job, do you think you could ask them if they need anyone else? Adnan, will do.
So Adnan here says, I know, but the job I'm interviewing for is a dream job because it works for video games, hence the picture here for virtual reality. So Rob also likes video games. He said, wow, no kidding. Well, I still don't think it's right for you to jump ship. Jump ship. Of course, we'll know the meaning of jump ship later, but there's no ship actually. So we'll know the meaning for it later like that. But all right, I'll cover for you. Thanks a lot. I'm going to take off now. Take off. We'll be knowing the meaning of it later. Then Rob asked Adnan if he could ask them to find him a job at this company. He said, will do. Will do. So, of course, it's obvious will do that. He agrees that he will do it. So, can you tell me just one thing that you understood from the conversation? What did you understand from the conversation? Maybe that they are friends. That's correct. And they both like what? That's correct. They both like video games because Adnan said that it's his dream job to work at a video game company. Then Rob asked him that I will cover for you, but I want you to look for a job there for me. So we understand here that they both like video games, and we understand also that Rob is a real friend for Adnan because he keeps covering for him when Adnan needs it. So listen again and try to read along while you are listening. Listen and read along while you're listening. Try to read along with the conversation. So let's listen together.
Adnan, hey Rob, I'm in a bind. Can you help me out? Rob, what's the problem? Adnan, I'm supposed to work tomorrow, but there's something I've got to do. Could you cover for me? Rob, you just asked me to cover for you on Monday. What's so important that I have to keep doing your job? Adnan, okay, I'll tell you, but I'd appreciate it if you would keep it to yourself. I'm interviewing for another job, and I'm really close to getting it. Rob, you were just hired here a few weeks ago. I can't believe you're thinking about leaving already.
Let's continue here with another slide.
Adnan, yeah, I know, but the job I'm interviewing for is a dream job. I'd be a tester at a video game development company. Rob, no kidding. Wow. Well, I still don't think it's right for you to jump ship like that. But alright, I'll cover for you. Adnan, thanks a lot. I'm going to take off now. Rob, hey Adnan? Adnan, yeah? Rob, if you get the job, do you think you could ask them if they need anyone else? Adnan, will do.
So Adnan finishes the conversation by saying, will do. So here's the real talk. In a bind. When Adnan says to Rob, I'm in a bind, it means that I'm in a difficult situation. Maybe you can say I'm in trouble. So when you are in some difficult situation, like Adnan, he wants to go to interview for another job, but he already has a job. So this is here a difficult situation. You can say I'm in a bind. Help me out. Do me a favor. When you say to someone, please help me out, you want them to help you, to do you a favor. Cover, as we said before, to take someone's place, often in a work situation. To cover for someone, to take his place. Often when you hear this word, it's often in a work situation. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone. When you say to someone, keep it, it is referring to the information. Keep it to yourself. It means don't tell anyone. No kidding. So no kidding means really. Jump ship. When he said don't jump ship, what does it mean to jump ship? It means to leave a job suddenly, usually to go to a new job. To jump ship, there's no actual ship here, but it means to leave a job suddenly without any warnings before. To leave a job suddenly, usually to go to another job. Take off, to leave. So when you want to leave a place, you say, I'm going to take off now. It means I'm going to leave. Will do, short for I will do it. When someone asks you something and you will do it, you say, okay, will do. So will do, again, it means I will do it. So here are some comprehension questions. So let's answer them quickly. Why does Adnan say that he's in a bind? Why does Adnan say that he is in a bind, in a difficult situation? Yes, that's correct. He can't go to work the next day because he has an interview for another job and he can't go to work. So this is the bind, this is the problem that he's having. How is Rob going to help Adnan out? How is Rob going to help Adnan? Of course, he's going to cover for him. He's going to take his place. He's going to cover for him. Why does Adnan want Rob to keep this to himself? Why does Adnan want Rob to keep it a secret, to not tell anyone, to keep it to himself? Let's see the answer here together. Because he doesn't want anyone to know he's missing work to interview for another job. Because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's jumping ship or going to interview for another job. Next question here. Why does Rob say it isn't right for Adnan to jump ship? Why it isn't right for Adnan to jump ship, to change his job suddenly? So what's the answer here? Yes, he thinks Adnan shouldn't change jobs just suddenly like that because he was just hired at his new job. Next question, what does Adnan mean when he says he's going to take off now? To take off, what does he mean when he says to take off? Okay, let's look at the answer together. That he's going to leave the office. So as we took previously in the conversation, to take off in the real talk, to take off, it means to leave. So again, it means that he's going to leave the office. So they are talking in the office. Last question here. What does Adnan mean when he says will do? When he says will do, what does it mean? Will do. You can check it in the real talk. Yes, that's correct. It means that if he gets the job, that he will ask the other company if they need someone else. Will do, he means that he will do the favor that Rob asked him, that he will ask the other company if they have a job for Rob. He means that if he gets the job, he'll ask if the other company needs someone else. So about the conversation questions here, we have 3 questions. Why does Adnan ask Rob to cover for him? How does Rob initially react to the request? How does he initially, in the beginning, react to this request? What favor does Rob ask of Adnan? So let's listen to the conversation again, then we will answer these questions.
Adnan, hey Rob, I'm in a bind. Can you help me out? Rob, what's the problem? Adnan, I'm supposed to work tomorrow, but there's something I've got to do. Could you cover for me? Rob, you just asked me to cover for you on Monday. What's so important that I have to keep doing your job? Adnan, okay, I'll tell you, but I'd appreciate it if you would keep it to yourself. I'm interviewing for another job, and I'm really close to getting it. Rob, you were just hired here a few weeks ago. I can't believe you're thinking about leaving already. Adnan, yeah, I know. But the job I'm interviewing for is a dream job. I'd be a tester at a video game development company. Rob, no kidding. Wow. Well, I still don't think it's right for you to jump ship like that. But alright, I'll cover for you. Adnan, thanks a lot. I'm going to take off now. Rob, hey Adnan? Adnan, yeah? Rob, if you get the job, do you think you could ask them if they need anyone else? Adnan, will do.
So why does Adnan ask Rob to cover for him? Why does he ask Rob to cover for him? Yes, Adnan asks Rob to cover for him while he has an interview for another job, because he has an interview for another job. Adnan asks Rob to cover for him because he's going to interview for another job. Is this okay or is it wrong? What will their employer do if he finds out? Could Rob get in trouble? Is this okay or is it wrong to ask someone else to cover for you? If it is necessary, of course it's okay. What will the employer do if he finds out, the employer, the owner of the company that they are working in, if he finds out that Adnan is looking for another job? Also, Rob asked him. Maybe he'll be mad, maybe he'll be understanding, so we don't know. Maybe he'll offer them more money. And could Rob get in trouble? Could he get in trouble if they discovered that he's covering for his friend? Of course, he would be in trouble. Second question here, how does Rob initially react to the request, to the favor? How did he initially, in the beginning, how did he react? Okay, let's see the answer here. At first, initially means at first, in the beginning. Rob doesn't want to cover for Adnan since he worked for him another time recently. In the beginning, he didn't want to do it because he did it for him on Monday. But once he understood why that Adnan would be leaving, he said, okay. What would you do if you were Rob? Would you cover for a friend in this situation? If you are in Rob's shoes, would you do the same thing? Would you cover for your friend or not? For me, of course, I would do it if it is necessary, if it is important for him. So the third question, what favor does Rob ask of Adnan? So the tables have turned here. Now Rob is asking Adnan for a favor. What is this favor? Let's see it together here. Rob asked Adnan to find out if the video game development company might need someone else because he's interested in applying for the job. He asked Adnan, if you get the job, could you ask them if they need someone else, because I'm also interested in developing or testing video games. So what do you think? What do you think about changing jobs in this way? Is it a good idea or not? Of course, this is according to there are different opinions here. You are always looking for a better job to develop yourself. So your turn here, role play with a partner. Ask your partner for a favor. Your partner is unwilling to grant the favor until understanding why it is necessary. Use the phrases for asking for favors. So when you want to ask for a favor from anyone, especially your friends, use these phrases. Do you think you could cover for me? Do me a favor and help me. Do me a favor, and then you put your request. I'd really appreciate it if you would cover for me. Would it be possible? Too much trouble to cover for me? What are the chances you could? What are the chances here when you expect that they would refuse? So you say, what are the chances you could cover for me? I hate to ask, but can you cover for me? So when you say, I hate to ask, you're being in some way polite here. You say, I hate to ask, but then you ask your favor. These are phrases that people often use when asking for favors. They make the request sound more polite. So these are all they look like, they make it sound that it's polite. So which phrase does Adnan use in the conversation? Which one did Adnan use in the conversation? Can you guess? Read them again. Do you think you could? Do me a favor, and I'd really appreciate it if you would. Would it be possible, or would it be too much trouble? What are the chances you could? I hate to ask, but so what did Adnan use? Of course, he used, I'd appreciate it if you would. I'd appreciate it if you would cover for me. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.